Well, welcome into Globe Life Park in Arlington. Tonight, the Rangers back home, a very short homestand as they face the Kansas City Royals in the first of three. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Greaves, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us for this Friday night of Rangers baseball on TXA 21. It's the Royals in town. The Royals are in first place in the AL Central. So the Rangers have their hands full of a good ball club tonight. And one of the guys they're going to rely on, as almost always is the case, and that's Adrian Beltre, Tom. He's been good against Kansas City.
Well, he has, Buzz, and at this time of year, it's kind of a broken record. We're dependent on Adrian Beltre. There's no doubt about that. He's our guy, and if the Rangers are going to have a successful series, it boils down to your main guy in the middle of the lineup getting the job done. 352 average and a huge slugging percentage. That's his highest against any American League opponent. A 418 average in his current 14-game hitting streak against the Royals. So he's been hot against the Royals. The Royals are the best team in the Central. They've got excellent starting pitching. They've got a great bullpen. So the Rangers are going to need good pitching in this series, and they're going to need Adrian to knock in some big runs.
Yeah, going to be key to score some runs against these tough Royals. It'll be up to a couple of veterans, Adrian Beltre and the veteran Colby Lewis, who's on the hill tonight in the first game of this three-game series. Well, Colby and the Rangers getting set to hook things up against Kansas City Royals. We'll have the starting lineups in the first pitch right after this on TXA 21. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by your Texas Ford dealer. Visit your Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. By Globe Life, the official life insurance company of the Texas Rangers. And by TXU Energy, inspired by you. And a beautiful evening here at Globe Life Park. Ron Washington's club after a split of the brief two-game series down in Miami. Back home to take on the Central leading Kansas City Royals, the first of three. A 100-degree evening here at Globe Life Park. And we'll take a look at the Royals lineup that Ned Yost, their skipper, has put forth. Nori Aoki leads off. He's in right field. Omar Infante is in second. And the catcher, Salvador Perez, bats third. Billy Butler, a hot hitter, is batting cleanup. Alex Gordon in left field, batting fifth. The DH is Josh Willingham. Mike Moustakas plays third. Playing center field, hitting eighth is Lorenzo Cain. And Alcides Escobar, the shortstop, bats ninth.
And our scouting report for tonight's right-handed starting pitcher for the Rangers, Colby Lewis. 8-10, he's had 22 starts this year. His ERA is .552. 6 starts since the All-Star break have gone pretty well. Good ERA, excellent opponent's batting average, only .250. It's .323 on the season. Saturday against the Angels, he had an unusual start. He gave up 10 hits, 5 runs, 2 home runs, didn't walk a batter, and struck out a season-high 10. So he gave up some runs, but the 10 strikeouts and no walks would indicate he had pretty good stuff that day as well.
Well, Colby Lewis out tonight looking for his 9th win of the year, and here's the defense that will back him up. Again, Alex Rios not able to answer the bell defensively. So you have Adduci, Martin, and Chu left, center, and right. Mike Carpenter started first. Adam Rosales in second. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop. Adrian Beltre at third. And catching tonight, Robinson Chirinos with Colby Lewis on the mound. And Robinson Chirinos might have his hands full tonight, too, with the league's leading stolen base team in Kansas City. They get on, and they are not afraid to run. And Colby Lewis getting a little consistency going, and that's what Colby had been after, and getting used to that newly resurfaced hip of his, finding out what he can and can't do and making those adjustments. And Colby kind of feels like he's over that adjustment period. Now it's a matter of getting consistency in his pitches, getting consistency in the location and the break on the slider, and all of those things that go into being the kind of winner that Colby Lewis has been. No, about ready to get things underway. Nori Aoki will lead things off. And Aoki steps in hitting at .266 with a home run and 30 RBI. First pitch of the night is on the inside corner for strike one. Aoki, very speedy coming out of that box. So Adrian Beltre up in front of the cut of the grass at third, respecting his ability to bunt. Aoki with 6 bunt base hits this year. Also among the league leaders in infield hits. 1-1 pitch from Colby. Now 2-1. Must have had a cold front drop through. It's 98 degrees at first pitch officially. Down from that 100 mark.
I think I'll turn the fan off now.
Yeah. And the next pitch low and inside, 3-1 to Aoki.
Well, you mentioned, Buzz, that these guys like to run the bases, so Aoki is a guy you like to keep off the bases. He's stolen 15 bases this year. Kind of a solid leadoff guy.
Colby to the wide, the 3-1 pitch. Hit well to right center field. Moving over is Chu, going back and makes the catch. Up over his head. Well, that ball carried pretty well. Aoki a little pop in the bat. That run down nicely by Shin-Soo Choo for out number one.
Yeah, Aoki probably chokes up as much as any hitter in the league. It doesn't give him a whole lot of bat to use, but he put a pretty good charge in that line drive. Shin-Soo went over and then had to angle back right at the end to make that play.
Oh, one out, and now here is the Royals RBI leader. You can believe that, Omar Infante. That's one of the things that I know stuck out to you, Tom, when you were looking at stuff.
Well, you know, we don't see the Royals that often. We haven't seen them all season long, so you know they're having a pretty good year. But it was a little bit surprising to see that Omar Infante has 57 RBIs, and that leads the Royals. Now, they don't hit many home runs, but I guess the thing that also stands out is they've got a lot of guys with about the same amount of home runs.
Yeah.
4 guys with 50 plus, a couple guys with 40. So throughout their lineup, they've got someone that can knock in a run. They may not have someone with 75 or 80, but everybody's got their share.
And Infante lofts a fly ball shallow right field coming on Shin-Soo Choo, and that is out number 2. Next will be Salvador Perez as Colby Lewis gets a couple of fly balls. Yeah, the Royals have 4 players in the lineup, starting with Infante. Infante, Perez, Butler, and Gordon that all have more than 52 RBI. Then they have 4 more that have 40 plus RBI. So it's 8 hitters with 40 to 50 RBIs, and that's right in the heart of their order, or for the most part, their order itself. Salvador Perez fouls back that first pitch. It is 0-1. Perez, the team leader with 15 home runs. .268 average. Starting catcher for the American League All-Star team this year. 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. Last 3 ball games, Perez has been lighting it up pretty well. 385 with a home run and 4 driven in. Colby on top of the count, though. The 0-2 pitch. And that's lofted out of play to the right side. We'll come back and try it again. Perez brings a modest 3-game hitting streak into this ball game. Ned Yost, skipper of the Kansas City Ball Club. Josh Willingham, who's their DH, standing right behind him. Another 0-2 pitch. And that one just cued foul. Well, this Royals Ball Club, a good young core, and by young I mean 26 or younger, and Salvador Perez, a big part of that core. Get him in a premium position where he has pretty good offensive capability. Also a very good defender. That's a good guy to build a club around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Colby Lewis, the 35-year-old out of Bakersfield, California. He has not fared nearly as well at home as he has on the road this year. Here at home, just 2-7 with an ERA of about 7 1/3 runs per game. And the next pitch is popped up. And right there is Elvis Andrus. That will do it. So 2 fly balls and a pop-up. Royals gone in order. Colby Lewis has a 1-2-3 inning after a half inning of play. The Royals nothing. The Rangers coming up on TXA 21. Well, the Royals down in order at the hands of Colby Lewis and company. So the Rangers come to bat here in the bottom of the first. We'll take a look at the Texas Rangers starting lineup as pinned together by Ron Washington. Shin-Soo Choo leads off. He's in right field. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, is next. Then the DH, Alex Rios. Adrian Beltre batting cleanup. Mike Karp is the first baseman, hitting fifth. Robinson Chirinos is catching. Leonis Martin in center. Adam Rosales bats eighth and plays second. And the number 9 man is Jim Adduci, the left fielder.
And pitching, Yordano Ventura, one of the really exciting young starting pitchers in baseball. He's 9-9, has a nice ERA. He's had 1 relief appearance, 23 starts. His last 5 starts, he's been very good. Opponents only hit .207 against him. And a lot of strikeouts, most by a Royals rookie since 1990 when Kevin Appier had 127. We saw this guy in spring training, and his fastball can anywhere from 94 to occasionally the upper 90s. Great arm, good curveball. He's been an excellent young pitcher for the Royals.
And the first pitch is a strike to Shin-Soo Choo. Choo at 244 with the average. He hits one sharply, but right at Escobar, the shortstop. One gone. No, Shin-Soo out on the ground ball, and now Elvis Andrus will come up. Yeah, and Ventura this year, Tom, according to folks around Kansas City, we'll tell you about that in just a second. The defense for the Royals tonight. Outfield of Gordon, Kane, and Aoki, left, center, and right. Billy Butler, the start at first base. Omar Infante at second. You saw Escobar at short. Mike Moustakas at third. And Salvador Perez is catching. But the folks around the Royals say that Ventura's had the normal ups and downs of a rookie pitcher, and trying to make adjustments. And I don't think anybody has diminished what he takes out there each time. Said he has made good, steady progress, but that still doesn't mean he's not going to have the ups and downs that, well, Ranger fans can identify with some of the young pitchers. The Rangers.
Oh, he's not going to have too many downtimes if he features that last pitch. A 97-mile-an-hour sinker. The old left-handed slider from a right-handed pitcher.
And Elvis up the middle into center field, a base hit.
The last couple of starts for Ventura, he's walked 10 batters in 12 2/3. So I guess that's kind of what you're talking about, Buzz. There'll be some times where he'll have a command issue. Overall, it's not been a huge issue for him. The last couple of starts it has been. But I guess as a team, you hope that your young starter that you're trying to develop, who's probably your 5th starter, has his ups and downs and has a 3.48 ERA and a 2.46 opponent's batting average. He's a little easier to put up with,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
He's also one of those guys that it's exciting to watch him every time he goes out there. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you know he's going to be throwing 94 to 98 miles an hour. And he's an exciting young pitcher.
Yeah, the first pitch to Alex Rios on the outside corner, about knee high. 0-1. Rios at 286, 4 home runs, 51 driven in. Alex, after the day off yesterday, reported some improvement with the ankle, but still not. Well, let's just say he's going to have to manage it the rest of the year. It's the kind of deal that very much like Shin-Soo Choo has, where, you know, a couple of days off, and off by off I mean playing DH instead of in the field will help. But it's probably not going to go away until sometime over the winter. Next pitch a little bit low, 2 balls and a strike.
Ventura is listed in the media guide as 6 feet and 180 pounds. He looks like he might be a little heavier than that, than when those numbers came out in the media guide. But I guess the point is he's not a big 6'4", 220-pound guy throwing 97 miles an hour. By today's standards,
Yeah.
he's probably slightly built for a right-handed starter.
Kind of the same kind of build. Kind of reminds you of Pedro Martinez. Right. Long arms.
Pedro wasn't a big guy. Tom Gordon wasn't a big guy.
Right. 3-1 the count to Rios. Left center field up the alley. Hit pretty well. It's going to be down and go to the wall. Elvis around third. He's going to have to stop as the ball bounces in to the bullpen. A ground rule double, which will force Elvis back to third base.
Yeah, that's too bad because that had a chance to be a triple. The way Alex can run the bases, triple and an RBI. Well hit ball by Alex. Nice job of hitting it. It's that fastball that comes right on the inside part of the plate. From our angle, it almost looked like it was the middle of the plate. It's actually on the inside part of the plate. And Alex turns on it and hits it well. Unfortunately, hit on the warning track and bounced right out. Hits the grass. It could have been a triple.
Yep.
But definitely a double and an RBI.
Well, Elvis at third now. At second, Alex Rios. Adrian Beltre, an opportunity to get the Rangers on the board here in the first inning. First pitch to him is high and away for ball one.
Pop that one in at 99 miles an hour. Gets in a little bit of trouble. He's got a little bit more than 97, it looks like.
Just getting loose.
Just warming up.
Chopped foul outside third. Adrian going after the off-speed pitch. We're going to say 88's off-speed.
88 mile an hour changeup. Right up there with Felix.
Yeah. Saw the numbers for Beltre, the team leader with 17 home runs, 64 RBI, hitting at .322. That's good for fourth in the American League. To third, and Moustakas thought about coming home, but he instead will fire on across the diamond. In to score is Elvis Andrus. Adrian Beltre, the RBI ground out, and the Rangers lead early 1-0.
Elvis got a good jump. It looked like if you just watch the ball off the bat, you go, boy, he's got to play at the plate. But Elvis got a good jump. I'm not sure Moustakas felt like he had a good angle to throw it. Elvis kind of stays on the inside part of that, right on the line. And Moustakas either felt like he didn't have an angle. We'll see if he had an angle, or maybe he felt like he just didn't have time to make the play. He definitely looked at home, but decided not to.
Yep. You know, it would have been bang bang, I think, if he made a good throw.
He also might have had a little bit of a problem getting it out of his glove and wanted to make sure he got it out. In any event, Adrian picks up an RBI. The Rangers take the lead.
And Perez throwing to second. And back easily, Alex Rios. Salvador Perez, another one of those catchers, not at all afraid to throw to the bases. You see Elvis kind of peeking back over his shoulder, too. He wanted to find out if there was going to be a play at the plate.
Yeah.
1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Mike Carp. Well, he had a good rip at that fastball and fouled it straight back.
Yeah, he missed a good opportunity there. He had a beautiful swing. He timed it right. The pitch was in a good location to hit. Just missed it.
Carp trying to get untracked. He's a 184 hitter overall. 13 runs driven in. Make that 12 runs driven in. 3 as a Ranger. He's got Alex Rios out there at second base. Alcides Escobar, the shortstop, playing behind Alex Rios. Now the 1-2. Got him swinging. Boy, nasty down and away, and that will do it. Ventura wanted more. So now it's down to 4 or 5 outs. The Rangers get a run, though. They're going to run on 2 hits and strand 1 after 1. It's the Rangers 1 and the Royals nothing on TXA 21. Now Colby Lewis back out taking his warm-up tosses before we go to the top of the second inning. Rangers on top 1-0. Let's say hello to Jane Slater. Hello, Jane.
Hello. Well, earlier today, about 400 fans helped Rangers alum Pudge Rodriguez and Rusty Greer welcome in the 2014 Texas Hall of Fame inductee Tom Schieffer. Net proceeds from the event go to help the Texas Rangers Foundation. To find out more about that, go to www.texasrangers.com/foundation. Guys, back to you.
All right. Good afternoon, I guess it was, Tom. Looked like you were having a good time with the ambassador and Pudge and everybody.
It was one of the better luncheons that I think the Rangers have had. Tom Schieffer, in his Q&A with Chuck Morgan, was just tremendous, talking about his time that he spent as an ambassador in Australia and Japan, telling a story about a big summit they had in Washington on September 10th, right before 9/11, and the flight that he had to take back to Australia on Air Force 2 with the Australian Prime Minister to address the Australian people on national TV to assure them that everything would be okay, and you know, things you might not known about his tenure and what a key role he played helping President Bush as the ambassador.
Billy Butler unloading on a Colby Lewis fastball, and that ball is gone. A 1-1 pitch that never made it to Robinson Chirinos. We have a tie ball game.
I'm pretty safe in thinking that that might be Billy Butler's best bolt right there. He hit that ball perfectly, and you know, he's not a grandstander in any way, but when you hit one like that, you do have to take a little bit of a look at it, and he took a little bit of a look at that ball, and that was hit to a deep part of the ballpark, way out of here. That was a long one. Also a pretty good pitch to hit.
Well, Butler had a 8-game hitting streak snapped on Wednesday. That's the last game the Royals played, and so he's right back at it, trying to start another streak, and he ties this game with his 8th home run of the year.
That's one of those balls, Buzz, that the catcher's target pretty much tells the story. Colby was trying to hit that spot he talks about a lot to right-hand hitters, down and away, and he missed down and away, and unfortunately that was one of those that he didn't get away with. 417 feet, the guesstimate on that long bomb. Yeah, I'm thinking when that finally would have hit the ground would have been longer than 417.
Now Alex Gordon got a 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now 2-2. Gordon second on the team with 14 home runs. He has driven in 56. 284 average. And like a lot of the Royals hitters, hitting extremely well in the last month. Royals have gone 22-6 since the midway point of July. Ned Yost's team has made up a lot of ground. They now lead the Central Division. Elvis to his left. Nice pickup. Gordon's retired. 1 gone. Lead the Central Division by a game and a half over the Detroit Tigers. You know, the Royals this season at 14-game over 500 mark. First place in the game and a half lead over Detroit. They've won 8 of the last 9 series. Matter of fact, they had that 8 in a row series victories snapped by the Colorado Rockies. That 2-game series that they split. That was the first series they had not won in their last 9 series.
Yeah, both the Tigers and the Royals have played better on the road than they have at home this year, both teams.
Yeah, Colby quickly out in front of an old nemesis, Josh Willingham. Willingham came over in a trade from Minnesota, and he has given Colby fits over the years. 3 home runs in the 22 at-bats that he's had against the Ranger right-hander. That pitch just missed the outside corner. And looking at the immediate future, 20 of the next 29 games at home for the Royals. And 20 of the final 36 are against teams with losing records. So it all stacks up to be very favorable. And Willingham hit by a Colby Lewis fastball. Well, Colby got out in front, couldn't put him away, and ended up hitting Willingham. 1 on, 1 out for Mike Moustakas. But it all looks like it's a fairly favorable setup for Kansas City to make it to the postseason for the first time since 1984 or 85.
Looked like he flipped his uniform. His uniform blouse up, and Robinson was still able to catch that ball. But another example of Colby not throwing the ball very close to the target he was intending.
Now here's Moustakas. Takes strike one. Moustakas has had to do a lot of work offensively to get that average up over 200. 14 home runs, 48 driven in. Lewis, a long look at first. And the breaking ball is just a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike Carp holding the bag against Josh Willingham. Rangers shifted around to the right for Moustakas. Adrian Beltre a good 25 feet off that third baseline. Moustakas back in a modest 2-game hitting streak coming into play here tonight. Hard hit through this right side, a base hit. Willingham around second, will motor into third. So a hit batter and a base hit. The Royals have runners at the corners for Lorenzo Cain.
A well-hit ball by Moustakas. He gets a pitch up out over the plate. Actually, it's way out over the plate, slightly outside, but it didn't stop him from getting the good part of the bat on the ball and hitting it well into right center field. He pulls it a little bit more, easy double play.
Well, everything even now. A run on 2 hits for each ball club, but the Royals threatening here in the second again. Lorenzo Cain at the plate, a .293 average. 3 home runs, 40 driven in for the Kansas City center fielder. Out of play down the right side, 0-1. Cain, one of the better on-base percentages for Royals. Royals as a team 11th in the American League with a .314 on-base percentage, but they're second in the league hitting at .265, the average. Breaking ball outside, so needless to say, this team doesn't walk a whole lot. They sure swing the bats.
They do. It's kind of an unusual thing. They have the fewest walks in the league and the fewest strikeouts in the league. They have a lot of guys that you look at their line and they just don't walk very much, but then you look at the other line, they don't strike out all that much either.
1-1 pitch. Left center field. That is down for a hit. Over to cut it off, Leonys Martin. Willingham trots down the line to score. And with that Cain base hit, the Royals take a 2-1 lead. Lorenzo Cain drives in his 41st run of the year.
Kobe's having a little bit of problem with his command. A lot of his pitches are moving into the middle of the strike zone, or even if they're not in the strike zone, they're up. Instead of, you can get a pretty good idea where he's trying to throw the ball when you watch where the catcher puts his glove, waiting for the pitch to get there. And generally to the right-hand hitter, it's down and away. He hasn't been hitting that spot as consistently as he would like to.
Well, 3 hits in the inning, a couple of runs across. Runners at first and second. Alcides Escobar, the number 9 hitter, is next. Escobar, of course, a very speedy middle infielder, hitting very well and driving in runs. 42 runs driven in, which for a number 9 guy, pretty impressive. Escobar on this current road trip for the Royals has gone 8 for 21. That's a .381 mark. You got Moustakas at second, Cain at first. Fouls off the next Lewis offering. That evens things up at a ball and a strike. Colby now over 20 pitches in this inning. And 14 to dispatch the Royals in order in the first, and Next pitch here will be his 36th of the night. Colby sets a check of the runners. Another foul ball to the right. 1-2. Escobar's career high for RBI in a season is 52. Done that the last 2 years. He's only 10 shy of that with 36 games remaining for Kansas City. Now Lewis ready one more time. 2-2. Robinson Chirinos flashing the signs out. Colby Lewis agrees to one. Low and outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Colby not able to find the pitch to put away Escobar after getting out in front. With a full count now, Escobar trying to get aboard to join 2 more teammates back to the top of the order for Nori Aoki to be next.
Escobar has only walked 20 times, so you can get him to swing. You just have to get a little bit closer to the plate. Make it at least tempting for him to swing at it.
Runners with their leads. Payoff pitch. Line, base hit right center field. Moustakas had to hold up. Now he's going to be waved home. Here comes the throw. The catch is not made, and Moustakas slides in safely with the 3rd run of the inning. Well, the throw was a little bit offline, but Robinson Chirinos tried to pick a short hop. He had plenty of time if he's able to hang on to the ball. He couldn't, and Moustakas, instead of being a dead duck, is a run scored.
One thing that Leonis has done over the last maybe month and a half is he continues to make strong throws, but they've consistently been on the wrong side of the base. Now, it's not that simple from out there to throw it right on the money. But if you want to miss, you've got a better chance if you miss on the other side of the baseline. Earlier in the season, when he was really throwing well, he was not only throwing strongly like that, but the ball was right on the money, and the catcher caught it, put the tag on the runner, which would have happened there if it was an accurate throw. Stress that from way out there, it's not easy to get rid of it quickly with something on it and make it a perfectly accurate throw. That's why you don't see that many guys thrown out at the plate.
Yeah.
But he has shown such a great ability to do that. Sometimes you're a little bit surprised when he doesn't.
Well, 3 consecutive hits, along with a hit batter for the Royals. They have scored 3 in the inning. Still just 1 out. And Aoki, who lined to right field, shows bunt, takes ball 1. Aoki up there with Lorenzo Cain at second. Alcides Escobar at first. With these 2 guys aboard, you've got to be careful because the Royals, as we mentioned, love to run the bases. They are a definite threat to try and pull a double steal here with 1 out. A bunt dragged down the first baseline. It goes off into foul territory. Mike Carr couldn't get to it before the ball peeled off across the chalk. 1-1 the count.
And that is not traditionally what you see a hitter do in that situation. With 1 out and a couple of men on, generally the manager is going to say to the hitter, drive in the run, swing away. If he lays that bunt down, he might move the runners over, but he's got a pretty good chance of being out at first base. And not the same as sacrificing guys over with nobody out. With 1 out, you end up with 2 outs and men on second and third.
Now Colby peering in for the sign, now has one. The 1-1 pitch. This one bunted right back to Colby Lewis. He'll make the play at first. No, second and third now, and 2 out. As Aoki.
I have no idea what he's doing.
No, I don't either.
That guy's been around a little bit. He's already bunted once. They're aware of that. And with 1 out, he just bunts the ball right straight back to the pitcher. Thank you very much, Aoki.
Ned Yost looking He's got that Mike Scioscia incredulous look on his face.
Well, I'd be surprised if Ned's not thinking the same thing we're saying. Now, he's probably going to handle it a little bit differently, but I don't care what Aoki said to me. If I asked him why he bunted, I'm not buying it.
No. No.
Oh, I had the second baseman back. Yeah, okay. What about the first baseman? And even if you get him over, fine. I mean, if you get out, beat it out, the odds of doing it aren't that great. You just leave it up to the next guy to drive him in.
Yep. Nomar Infante, the team leader with 57 RBI, up there now. Takes low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Infante lofted a fly ball to right his first time up. 0 for 1 tonight. Colby getting ready for his 30th pitch of the inning. And a fly ball to left. That will send Ducey back, but he has room well in front of the warning track. That is out number 3. Now the Royals come up, though, with 3 runs on 4 hits. They strand 1. After 1.5, it's now the Royals 3 and the Rangers 1. Hey, Rangers fans, text your thoughts on Ron Washington's call from the pregame interview to Mark McLemore. Do that at 469-209-2121. And if he reads your text to the postgame show tonight, you'll win a $50 Sporting Good gift card, courtesy of Metro PCS. Well, Ron Washington's club now finds himself trailing by a couple. 3-1 Kansas City, as Robinson Chirinos starts things off here in the second, taking strike 1. Chirinos a .232 average with 11 home runs and 32 RBI. Fastball up and in at 98 for Robinson. If his heart wasn't started, it's probably pretty well palpitating now.
98 up and in is a lot different than 88 up and in. I mean, it doesn't sound like that much. 88 is still pretty fast, but to a hitter, there's a whole lot of difference between those 2 speeds.
And you can hear it coming from further away.
It just feels like, don't let it make contact with my body.
2-1 pitch from Ventura. Right center field. Aoki moving over to his right makes the grab. That is out number 1. I think Robinson might have gotten that down toward the trademark a little bit. So Ventura now has retired the last 3 that he's faced. 1 out here in the second. And Leonys Martin will step in. Martin, the hottest Ranger hitter in the last week or so of play. That average now at .268. On the outside corner for strike 1. 5 home runs, 30 RBI for the Ranger center fielder. He's been a 500 hitter over his last 8 ball games. Seen him go 15 for 30, and that was on the heels, if you'll remember, that 0 for 12 streak. Here are the numbers for him, last 8 ball games. 1-1. Right at the third baseman, Moustakas, who kind of tumbles off to his right. Make the grab, 2 gone.
I was just getting ready to say that one of the reasons he's 15 for 30 is he's shown the ability over the last week and a half to take the ball to left field, something he wasn't doing when he was slumping, trying to pull the ball. And that's a shame, because he had a bullet that way that time and went right straight at Moustakas at third base. But that's what he's been doing, and that's what he needs to do to become the hitter that he can become.
I remember over that weekend, Tom, you talking about that a couple times, and he continued that in the series in Miami.
Did he?
Yeah, and hit the ball hard the other way too, and then started finding a gap every once in a while, which then he can use his speed too.
I think it might have been kind of a tough thing to convince him to try to do, because the natural reaction when you're struggling a little bit is to try to swing harder, to try to pull the ball, to try to drive the ball, and usually that's pulling the ball. But the success he's had should give him the confidence that going to left field is the way to do it.
Well, Adam Rosales chops out to first. A 9-pitch inning for Giordano Ventura. Rangers gone in order. We'll go to the third It's the Royals 3 and the Rangers 1 on TXA 21. Hey fans, you can follow every Rangers game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. You get live look-ins and instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and a whole lot more. Download at the App Store, or you can visit TexasRangers.com today. A nice crowd on hand here tonight. A very warm evening, temperature in the upper 90s as we move to the top of the third inning. Kansas City on top 3-1, and the Royals come to bat with Salvador Perez to start things off, Billy Butler and Alex Gordon to follow. Colby Lewis, who threw 31 pitches last inning, goes to work with strike one to Perez. Perez a pop out to short back in the first. It's this one well to left center field, but moving to his right, Leonys Martin snares it, one gone. Well, Perez a quick hard out, and it'll bring up Billy Butler. Butler was the one who started the second inning with his 8th home run of the year, a blast to left center field that traveled some 417 plus feet. Got the Royals on the board, tied the ball game at that point, and Kansas City went on to score twice more in the inning. 0-1. Butler, normally the designated hitter, but Eric Hosmer on the disabled list for Kansas City. Hosmer, the fine young first baseman. And Butler had to move over to play first base in his absence. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lewis back to the plate and hits the outside corner. Mentioned that 8-game hitting streak that Billy Butler had snapped on Wednesday night. I haven't seen him hit 364 over those 8 games. Gets this one to right center field. Long run. Leonys Martin in the alley and makes the catch just as he steps onto the warning track. Well, alley to alley for Leonys Martin. 2 gone.
Yeah, Billy Butler's a big guy hitting in the middle of the lineup. Coming into the game, he'd only had 7 home runs. He put a charge in that ball in the top of the second inning. Didn't look like a guy who's only got 7 or 8 home runs.
Now 2 away. Here's Alex Gordon, who hit a ground ball to short in the second inning. And Colby fires strike 1. Gordon, 283 for the year, but on this road trip for Kansas City, he's hit 409. He's gone 9 for 22, and for the month of August, he's hit 328. A lot of extra base hits, too. A .612 slugging percentage. To straightaway center field, backing and stopping now is Leonys Martin, and he ties a major league record. All 3 outs corralled by Leonys Martin. 3 up, 3 down after 2.5. 3-1 Kansas City. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by Sports City Toyota. Log on to sportscitytoyota.com. Jim Adduci leading off the Ranger 3rd inning. Texas trailing 3-1. Adduci 170 with a batting average, and Jim mired in a very lengthy 0 for. He is 0 for his last 23 times to the plate. That goes all the way back to the 9th of August, the day that he hit his first major league home run down in Houston.
Jim is getting a good opportunity, and so he's probably a little frustrated that he hasn't been able to produce a little bit more than he has. The good thing is Wash keeps writing his name in the lineup, and he's a good solid player, and hopefully what you see happen is he gets through the 0 for 23, benefits from seeing his name in the lineup and then gets on a nice little streak. So many times you go 0 for 23 and you don't get another chance. He continues to get the opportunities, and now it's just up to him to go out and make the best out of his opportunities, and hopefully he'll be able to do that.
Makes a difference, doesn't it, if you put in the work that Adduci's doing with Dave Magadan, and then you're able to take it right into a ball game and practice what you, or put into play what you practiced.
Yeah, and you hope you have some success doing it and make the impression on the manager, because that's what so many guys on the Ranger team right now are trying to do. Play well for themselves, play well for the team, but also make enough of an impression to where you're looked at favorably going into spring training next year.
That pitch inside.
With all the injuries, there's a lot of guys that are getting an extended look that might not normally be there. So it's a great opportunity, but it still boils down to being able to take advantage of it.
Now the payoff pitch. Line drive to center. Here comes Kane. The ball hangs up for him. And Jim Adduci continuing to hit in tough luck. Boy, he hit that ball right in the nose. And was probably hit a little too well to fall in.
That's generally what's happening. You go for 23. You've had some times when you've struggled. You've also had some times when you've hit the ball right on the nose and don't have anything to show for it. That's how it ends up 0 for 23. And he hit that ball well. Looked like a line drive base hit to left center field. It just kept on going. Over the last couple of weeks, he's also had 2 or 3 balls that he's looked like hit pretty well right to the base of the wall in right field.
Yep.
Off the bat, you say, boy, that one's got a chance. And so it's just not happening right now. They're not falling in for him either.
Shin-Soo Choo takes a strike. This is his second at bat. Choo started the game for the Rangers by grounding sharply to short. 1 ball, 1 strike. Choo was 3 out of 8 on the 2-game swing to Miami. Also had a walk. Starting to have a few things fall into place for him now. Choo, a 300 hitter in his last 5 ball games. He's gone 6 for 20. Oh, a good changeup by Ventura. That thing really almost like a screwball. Down and away from the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, when you look at the 3 pitches that he has and then see with normal development and no injuries what he could be in 2 or 3 years, you're looking at number 1, number 2 starter. He's not a guy hoping to make a rotation. He's a guy that you might build a rotation around.
Yeah. He's going to make the rotation.
Yeah. All right, we got Ventura. Who else do we have?
That's right.
And they've got good starting pitching. That's not a problem for the Royals.
Well, that's got to be a big benefit for a guy like Ventura, that have James Shields there, the veteran, and to have Vargas and and Bruce Chen, people like that have been around the block a few times, and he can learn from.
I would think, yeah, I would think it's a huge advantage. Not be the guy that's counted on, not looked at as the savior. Have all the pressure on Shields and the rest of the guys you mentioned. Be able to sneak in behind him and also watch how they go about their job.
Right.
Maybe learn how to be a big league pitcher.
Yeah. Now Choo down on strikes. Pretty well tied up with a good fastball. Strikeout number 2 for Ventura. 2 gone. Here's Elvis. Andrus scored the only Ranger run. That was back in the first after a 1-out single. Well, Elvis now at 272 with the average.
Royals have another young starter, a lefty named Danny Duffy, who has a losing record, but his ERA is 2.53. Opponent's batting average is 2.01, so they've got a young lefty and a young righty that both could grow into top of the rotation guys.
One to Elvis. Now 2-1.
You know, it's kind of what the Rangers hoped to have at the start of the season. Martin Perez would have been a guy that threw 2 shutouts early in the year, would be the same kind of guy that you're talking about when you're talking about Ventura and Duffy. Matt Harrison and Derek Holland aren't necessarily 21, 22, but they're in their mid-20s, just entering the prime of their careers. And fortunately, they were hurt too.
And hopefully by this time next year, everybody will be back in the fold and pitching well.
Yeah, I guess Matt and Derek, the Rangers had two guys further along in their development. Kind of thing that you hope Duffy and Ventura and those type of guys, you hope they become that in 2 or 3 years. Rangers were right there with two of their guys. And Martin pretty close.
That pitch in the dirt from Ventura, and the count now is full. So Elvis, with 2 outs, trying to get aboard to prolong this 3rd inning. Alex Rios, the Ranger DH, will be next. .45th pitch coming up from Ventura. Inside, ball 4, and he lost it. First walk of the night. Elvis aboard for the 2nd time. Alex Rios, who doubled in the 1st, will step up. Rios hit the shot into the gap in left center that unfortunately hit the warning track and bounced into the bullpen for a ground rule double, and that prevented Elvis Andrus from scoring from first base. He had to stop at 3rd. Adrian Beltre then drove him home with an infield out, but you know, that ball goes to the wall and stays in the ballpark, and you're looking at a whole different 1st inning than what transpired. A strike to the outside corner. Rios 2 for 5 on the just completed road trip. Elvis a modest lead at first. 1-1. Opposition has not attempted a lot of stolen bases against Salvador Perez. Perez throws extremely well behind home plate. Fouled away. Just 66 attempts by the opposition, and they've been successful 47 times. One and 2 to Rios. Now 2-2. Ventura set, a check of Elvis at first. And the pitch is high and tight. Oh, another full count. Back-to-back hitters that Ventura has run the string out. Rios trying to get aboard. That would bring the go-ahead run to the plate in the person of Adrian Beltre. Right-hander is ready. There goes Elvis. The pitch is foul back. We'll reset and try it again. Rangers here at home this year just 23 and 38. They have won 2 out of the last 3, however, here at home on the positive side of things. Another payoff pitch. Line to right field. Aoki, however, able to make the grab, and that'll do it. Rangers get a walk but strand a runner. We've finished 3 at Globe Life Park. It's the Royals 3 and the Rangers 1 on TXA 21.
Welcome back to the Rangers broadcast. I'm Jane Slater, joined by Paul Morrow here with Rangers Enterprise. We're here to talk about the MCA Labor Day race taking place September 1st, Monday. Tell us a little bit about it.
That's right. We have a 5K on Monday, September 1st. Everyone will actually start out just outside of the ballpark and finish on the field. So after the race, we're going to take them up on the first base concourse, and we're going to just throw a big party, celebrate, give them some awards, and see them on their way.
Sounds like a big event. This is its 3rd year, correct?
3rd year, yes, ma'am. We have... Ooh.
He's intimidated here by the food and drinks coming by.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, we have great awards to give out. We're actually going to honor the winners of the race on the field before the September 4th game, and then give them a suite to go watch with friends and family. So it's a great prize.
Very cool. Go to TexasRangers.com for more information. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jane, thank you. 0-2 the count to Josh Willingham, leading off in the 4th inning. Willingham hit by a pitch and scored a run in the 2nd inning. Colby's next pitch to him. A little bit wide. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mentioned Willingham acquired by trade. The Royals went out and got some help once they found out that Hosmer was going to be out of action for a while. Billy Butler having to play first. Royals sent a minor league pitcher, Jason Adam, to the Twins in exchange for Josh Willingham back on the 11th of August. 2-2. Willingham since then has really turned it up a couple of notches. A .345 average with Kansas City, with a home run and 5 driven in. Lewis with the 2-2. Now the count is full. So again, Colby, kind of like last time up, not able to get a pitch in the vicinity that he can put Willingham away with. Last time he got a fastball that ran too far in and plunked Willingham. Now the payoff pitch in this at bat. We'll try it again.
That's a great opportunity for Willingham to come over to a young contending team and be a veteran stabilizer in the middle of the lineup. Possibly show his leadership qualities to a younger group of hitters. Get some big hits for him too with his power.
It's this one well to left center field. Leonis Martin going back. That ball is in the bullpen and out of here. That's the 4th home run by Josh Willingham off of Colby Lewis in his career. It's a 4-1 Kansas City lead.
It's kind of a comfortable situation for Willingham. He is a veteran guy. He's hit 30 home runs. He's knocked in 100 runs. He was maybe not having his best season this year, but he comes over. He's probably energized. Opportunity to get some big hits, not be the main guy in the lineup. Pretty good addition.
Well, 2 home runs tonight for a team that is last in the American League in home runs. The Kansas City Royals. That is 80 home runs now for the year.
Yeah, to give you an idea how few home runs that is, the Rangers have hit 91. The Rangers have hit 11 more home runs than the Royals. But that's not necessarily obviously the main ingredient to their success. Theirs is solid starting pitching, a great back end of the bullpen, and speed and excellent defense, and a lot of solid hitters in their lineup. They have weak spots that are easy to pitch around, guys that strike out 150 times.
Yeah, and they're right in the middle of the pack as far as runs scored. So it's you know, that with that and couple that with their pitching, and now all of a sudden you've got something to work with.
Yeah, now you've got a first place team.
Out of play, Mike Moustakas now with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And they're definitely getting hot at the right time. 22-6 in their last 28 games.
Yep.
They picked the perfect time to get hot, and it's the exact same time that the Tigers had some injuries and went cold. The Tigers are getting beat badly tonight too.
Chopper foul by Moustakas. Still 2-2. I think maybe given their druthers, they would have preferred to wait about 3 more weeks to get really hot.
Take it all through the month of September.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they still got some nail-biting time left with 35, 36 games left. They know that.
Hard hit. Flagged down nicely by Adam Rosales. 1 gone. Well, Rosie just picked him clean.
He just waited back for the hop and handled it. That was a smash by Moustakas. Second hard hit ball is in that direction. Hello. What'd you think I was going to do with it? Miss it? That's pretty good concentration. Let him watch the ball right into his glove. You know, here, watch the ball into your glove, but I don't know how many times you see the guy's eyes follow the ball right into his glove like that.
Deep in the hole, strong throw is offline and safely aboard Lorenzo Cain, who is getting down the line in a hurry. I'm not sure even with a perfect throw that Cain would have been out.
Yep, that's the wrong guy hitting that ball in the hole. Elvis got to it. He knew he didn't have time, any time, and he got rid of it as quickly as he could, but that made it hard to make a very accurate throw. Watch how quickly he has to plant and throw with all he's got. And Cain gets down the line really well. Cain's also a good base stealer, 18 out of 23.
Yeah, going to keep an eye on him. That 6th base hit of the night for Kansas City against Colby Lewis. 1 on, 1 out. Alcides Escobar. And Cain almost caught leaning the wrong way. You remember now, Robinson Chirinos, one of the best in the business this year about throwing out the opposition. He is right behind Yan Gomes and Alex Avila in caught stealing against him. 22 thrown out by Robinson Chirinos. Percentage-wise, he's 2nd in the major leagues with a success rate of 37.9% throwing out success rate. Cain off the bag. And the first pitch is a strike. And Robinson says, fine, you're not going to run. I'm trying to throw behind you and pick you off instead of cutting you down trying to steal.
That's one thing we saw at the luncheon today. They were showing Chuck Morgan had some great highlight reels made up of some of the Hall of Famers. Obviously Pudge is one of them, and they showed him gunning 2 runners down at first base, throwing behind him like that, picking them off. And a lot of catchers do a nice job of that, but I don't know that anyone did it quite like Pudge used to do it. That flick throw, he used to like to do it with a left-hand hitter up there. The left-hand hitter kind of shielded him from the base runner. By the time the base runner realized what was going on, it was too late.
Colby, a long set. The pitch high and tight to Escobar. 1 ball and 1 strike. Peeled down to Hunter Windelstadt, the first base umpire. Said, no swing. Escobar had a base hit to center, driving in a run in the 2nd inning. He's got Lorenzo Cain at first with 1 out in the 4th. Royals leading 4-1 here in the first game of this 3-game weekend series. To right field, right at Shin-Soo Choo. 2 gone. Choo was shaded toward the line and playing fairly shallow, an easy play off the bat of Alcides Escobar. Now Nori Aoki will come up for his 3rd at bat. Aoki 0 for 1 officially. Had a kind of a curious sacrifice bunt in the 2nd.
Yeah, that's really stretching it to give him a sacrifice bunt on that. In his mind, it's even worse if he was trying to sacrifice. There's a lot of pitchers that wouldn't sacrifice with 1 out, men on 1st and 2nd. The manager's going to say, hey, I'm going to take my shot, take a swing. You know, it's rare that you hit into a double play. Guys, he's probably hitting a 9 or 10 double plays. Give me 2 shots to drive that run in, not just 1.
He pulls this on the ground to Adam Rosales. Up and throwing, that'll do it. But the Royals add on a run. Josh Willingham's leadoff home run puts 1 on the board. A run on 2 hits, 1 left. After 3.5, 4-1 Kansas City. Hey fans, on Thursday, September 4th, Rangers come back from a long road trip and they open a series against the Seattle Mariners. 7:05 game that night. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Shin-Soo Choo bobblehead. You get your tickets for the 1st September giveaway at TexasRangers.com. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And Adrian Beltre starting things off. Takes strike 1. Beltre, an RBI on a ground out his first time up. 65 runs driven in now for the Ranger 3rd baseman. That one's looped foul down the right side. The count moves to 0-2. Look at the Ford leaderboard. Batting 4th in the lineup in the American League. Adrian Beltre, a .340 average. Victor Martinez not too far behind. Billy Butler, 3rd among those cleanup hitters. And Adrian topping them all. But once Adrian got back in the lineup early in the year, he has been the model of consistency and consistency at a high level of play. Pops the next pitch up. Butler coming down the line from first. Now backpedaling. That ball just ate him alive.
That was too high to handle. I don't know if it's got that kind of sky where the ball blends into the sky. Possibly did that, giving Billy the benefit of the doubt. I think there's a better chance he just missed it. Looks like he's got it under control. I'm underneath it. Whoops, not quite underneath it.
Well, that's going to be scored an error, and rightfully so. Give Adrian another life here. The count of no balls and 2 strikes. Again, folks that might not have heard it before, Billy Butler playing first because the Royals' normal first baseman, Eric Hosmer, is on the disabled list. So in Billy's defense, he's not good at defense. Let's put it that way.
No, he's one of those young players that came into the league predominantly because of his bat as a designated hitter. He fills that role quite well for Kansas City and has for quite a while.
He's one of the best right-handed hitters in the game going back 5 or 6 years. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Beltre. Now 3-2. And Ventura
tells the runners to stay put. Oh, there's no runners.
He was waiting to play the carom.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Adrian's sign to the umpire was on that one. He's practicing in case there's a base runner on, telling him not to go.
Payoff pitch, and chopper foul outside third.
Adrian has flair, style. He takes all sorts of different swings, has different reactions to things, but it's always with enthusiasm. It's why he's so much fun to watch take his at-bats. You never know what he's going to do up there.
I'm not even sure he knows what he's going to do.
No, I think it just happens.
Hit well to right field. Aoki back at the wall, leaps up, it's over his glove and off the wall. Into second, Adrian Beltre with an opposite field double. Well, Beltre makes the error hurt the Royals.
Yeah, it looked like it might have a chance, and it almost carried out of here. It hit pretty high up on the wall. Probably seeing the replay whether Aoki actually got high enough to catch the ball. Adrian obviously hits it well to right field. Pretty good pitch to hit. Now let's see if Aoki had a shot at it. Probably a little bit above his glove. Maybe if he got to the base of the wall and jumped, he could have gotten higher. Let's see. Yeah, kind of off the top of his glove. Tough one. Almost a home run.
Just over the top.
I think if he jumped perfectly and had the glove in the exact right spot, maybe he had a chance.
Mike Carp, a swing and a miss. He finds himself now down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Carp a strikeout back in the first inning. The double for Beltre, just the 3rd hit for the Rangers tonight off of Ventura. Now 1-2 to Carp. Ventura about ready to unload his 65th pitch of the night here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 1 on and nobody out. Foul tipped. We'll try it again. Mentioned Mike Carp. 3 RBI in a Ranger uniform. 2 of those have come in the last 3 games. Got a chance with Beltre at second to add to that list. 2-2 now. Ventura, in the last 4 hitters, has had a 3-2 count on the first 3, and he's gone 2-2 here to Carp after getting ahead of all 3 of them. Off the end of the bat, down to Moustakas. Across the diamond for out number 1. Beltre staying at second. Robinson Chirinos will be next.
Ideally, in that situation, you'd like to see the ball hit to the right side. Tough with 2 strikes against a guy throwing 98 miles an hour. In that situation, you're just trying to make some contact, but it's a good out for Ventura because you get the out and man stays at second base.
Robinson Chirinos, a fly ball to right as he led off the Rangers second tonight. 231 the average for the Ranger catcher, and he chops one to first. Butler will take it to the bag himself. That is out number 2. On to third is Adrian Beltre. And now it'll be up to Leonys Martin if the Rangers are to score in this inning. Martin hit a rocket his first time up, but right at the third baseman, Moustakas. Ventura working from a stretch and in the dirt. Boy, nice stop by Salvador Perez.
I'll say. If that bounced up in the air, that would have been one of those balls that had a chance to go back to the screen slowly and not bounce all the way back to the catcher. Adrian would have scored easily. That's it way out in front of the plate, too. Nice play.
1 ball, no strikes. Now 2-0. The Rangers some opportunities in the first 3 innings plus. They are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. That mark has been coming up a little bit over the last several ball games. 2-1. Leonys a 267 average. Ventura ready. And gets him on the fist. It's 2-2. Ventura the last couple of innings has been forced to throw a lot of pitches, even though he has not allowed a run. That pitch total now up to 73, and he's already over the 20 pitch mark in this inning too. Beltre at third with 2 outs. Leonys getting his thumbs worn out by Ventura in this at bat. He's staying alive though. Ventura trying to keep that ball in on Martin. You see our Kia pitch tracker showing you the up and in a favored spot. Still 2-2. Yordano Ventura, primarily a fastball changeup pitcher. He will throw an occasional breaking ball, but his fastball, maybe a cutter every once in a while, and that good changeup. Another 2-2. Full count. Well, with 2 outs, Leonys trying to get aboard to join Adrian Beltre. Adam Rosales, the Rangers second baseman, will be next. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up to Martin. Payoff pitch in the dirt, ball 4. And Leonys takes the walk. So runners at the corners, and Rosales coming up.
We mentioned in Ventura's last 2 starts, he walked 4 and 6, 10 in 12 2/3 innings. Had 6 walks in his last start. It was a decent start, 4 hits and 3 runs, but he did walk 6. And the last 2 innings have been high pitch innings for him, 26 and so far 24. And he's already walked a couple in this game.
Adam Rosales tapped out to first, his first time up there. See if Leonys Martin decides to try and swipe second. Broken bat.
Watch out.
Into the stands and out of the stands.
That's the worst bat I've ever seen.
Out at first base, and
I think it missed everybody.
Everybody's okay down there.
Never saw one go into the stands like that before.
Boy, that bat just shattered in half. It appears that everybody's okay. We'll let you know when we come back. But Rangers come up empty. They get a hit and a walk and strand two. We'll go to the fifth. It is 4-1 Kansas City. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by Standard Insurance. Call Standard today. And by Freedom Dodge. Nobody beats a Freedom deal. Nobody. Now, fortunately, as best we can tell, everybody down there in the section just to above the Kansas City dugout appears to be okay. Looks like that lady was hit on the shoulder, but fortunately, everybody refused further attention, so that's good news. Thankfully, people were paying attention down there. The fifth inning begins with Omar Infante leading off for the Royals. 4-1 Kansas City. The Royals have out hit the Rangers 6-3. And the pitch in the dirt from Colby Lewis. 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, a couple of very nice things happened on this day in Ranger history. 1989. Nolan Ryan, 25 years ago today, recorded strikeout number 5,000.
That was an exciting night.
Yeah.
Ranger baseball.
Ricky Henderson and the Oakland A's. Nolan got punch out number 5,000. There was some electricity in old Arlington Stadium then.
Back in those days, Nolan was generating that kind of excitement. Every time he went out to the mound, the fans hoped to see history made. He didn't disappoint them very often.
1-2 pitch. And here's our flashback for you. August 22nd, 1989, Ricky Cage. That's kind of a normal Nolan reaction. Almost looked embarrassed that the game has stopped at all.
Let's go. Let's get on with it.
Rolled out toward third. Beltre cuts it off. 1 gone. Infante retired. Now Salvador Perez.
Now Colby's doing a pretty nice job of settling down after he gave up the 4 hits and the 3 runs in the second. He did give up the leadoff home run to Willingham, but other than that, doing a pretty good job. No walks, no strikeouts coming after a game where he didn't walk a batter and struck out 10.
So it averages out no walks and 5 strikeouts per start.
These guys are tougher to strike out than any other team.
They sure are.
And they're tougher to walk than any other team.
Perez, fly ball down the left field line. It's hooking. Adduci on the run. And Jim runs out of room.
He's getting ready to jump into the stands and make a catch like he made about a month ago down there.
That had the makings of a repeat.
That was one of the better plays of the year. Going full speed into that hard wall. Even though it's got padding, it's still hard. Jumping right into the wall and making that play.
0-1 to Perez. He gets one off the end of the bat, kind of a semi-line drive that's pulled foul. 0-2. Perez is popped out and lined out. Well, the bats are dropping like flies. New piece of lumber for the Kansas City catcher, back in there. Colby Lewis up on top of the mound, and the 0-2 pitch. Got him on the fist and a little pop-up. Adrian Beltre just into foul territory. 2 gone. Next will be Billy Butler. Well, you mentioned this day in Ranger history, a couple of things. Of course, Nolan's 5,000 strikeouts 7 years ago. I know you remember this one, Tom. In Baltimore, Rangers scored 31 runs.
Oh boy!
In the first game of a doubleheader against the Orioles at Camden Yards. 30 runs. That's a modern day major league record. Rangers went on to score 39 in the doubleheader, which also is a record. And here it is. Home runs galore, a couple of grand slams.
Guys coming off the bus. Coming into the game midway through the game and knocking in 5 runs.
Billy Butler and Adrian Beltre has all 3 outs in the inning. A 10-pitch inning for Colby Lewis. So 3 up and 3 down. And the onslaught in Baltimore continues. Halfway through the game here tonight. It's the Royals 4 and the Rangers 1. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Globe Life, the official life insurance company of the Texas Rangers. Jim Adduci starting off the Ranger 5th inning. Takes a strike from Ventura on the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Adduci scorched a line drive to center his first time up, but right into the glove of Lorenzo Cain. So 0 for 1 for Jim. And a good rip at that fastball. Fouls it back. It's 1-2. Rodano Ventura, the 23-year-old. Hard throwing right-handed, rocks to the line. And another hard hit ball. This ran out to the second baseman Infante.
Boy, it just continues for Jim Adduci. He's having a hard time getting hits, but tonight he's hit the ball right on the button twice. A line shot to center field, and that ball was well stroked, but right at the second baseman. Go back to the bench like you're talking about, Buzz. You're out for early batting practice. You're working on everything to make yourself a better hitter, putting the time in, getting a chance to play, and then you put 2 good swings on it, hit 2 balls hard, and you're 0 for 2. Just a tough game sometimes.
Yep. Shin-Soo Choo fouls it straight back. It's 0-1.
I think the hardest thing when you're in that kind of a streak and you've hit a couple of balls hard, it doesn't really focus with you that, hey, I've had 2 good at bats, I've hit the ball hard twice. All you see is I'm 0 for 2.
Right.
I got to make something happen. And you just have to take a step back and say, look, I've done everything I can do, and I've hit the ball hard twice. Nothing to show for it, but I just got to keep swinging, keep my same approach, and eventually it'll turn around.
Now, how tough is that to convince
that's
yourself?
Impossible. It's like, I know it's easy for me up here. I remember going 0 for 40 in the minor leagues one night, and after a game, the hotel's about 5 miles away. I was so embarrassed and mad I wouldn't even go back on the bus. I walked back to the hotel. Didn't even know how to get there. Didn't have a GPS on a phone back then either.
No.
Didn't have any friends in the neighborhood.
Choo down on strike. Second time that Choo has struck out. Has 3 strikeouts to Sidney for Ventura.
Boy, what a good changeup. Yep. Doesn't matter. You don't even look at the location of that changeup. Just look at the swing.
Now 2 gone here in the 5th very quickly. And Elvis Andrus, who's been aboard both times tonight, a single and a walk, will step to the plate. And strike 1 is delivered. Is there anything that that a teammate can say to you that makes it even palatable?
No. You know, the last thing you want to hear, I've heard guys come back to the bench and scream before anyone says anything, "Don't anybody tell me to hang in there." And you know, you don't. There's baseball, there's a lot of sarcasm, there's a lot of practical jokes. It's tough humor, boy, and if you've got thin skin, you can't survive in a clubhouse. But I think everybody sympathizes with someone who's struggling. It's one thing to make fun of a guy's haircut or make fun of a funny looking suit that he's wearing, but everybody knows what it feels like to go for 0 for 20 or to give up 10 runs in a game. And I think the humor stops when a guy's struggling.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it. Elvis rung up by Harry Wingelstadt, Hunter Wingelstadt, I should say, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. We finished 5 here in Arlington. It's the Royals 4 and the Rangers 1. Now our Globe Live quote of the game by Tom Schieffer, the 2014 Rangers Hall of Fame inductee. He'll be inducted tomorrow night. When we moved to the ballpark, it changed the whole perception of the franchise. People realized we had a chance to go to the World Series. We had a better team, and we started winning, and it made everything different. And it's amazing what difference Tom Schieffer made to the Rangers organization, planning and implementing this beautiful facility here in Arlington. Top of the 6th inning. And Alex Gordon leading things off. Tomorrow, Ambassador Tom Schiefer, the inductee, the on-field induction will begin at 6:35. And prior to the game of the Royals, we have it for you on Fox Sports Southwest. I believe we'll have it in its entirety tomorrow night. And I understand that one of us has the distinct pleasure of introducing Ambassador Schiefer, and it's not me.
I do have that honor. I'm looking forward to it.
And of course, you worked
for
under Tom Schiefer for, was it 12 years?
Yeah, I think the world of Tom.
Gonzalez recovering after he knocks down a hard hit Alex Gordon grounder. One gone. Now before Josh Willingham comes up, let's head over to Jane Slater. Jane?
Hey guys, we're celebrating 20 years here at Globe Life Park, and I couldn't help but notice that you guys visited the concession stand tonight.
We actually went to the Jack Daniels Club.
Nice. All right, well, I've got something exciting for you. You told me that you love coming out here to the ballpark in Arlington. We are rolling back the prices tomorrow for the Royals game. So you're getting $19.94 prices on your tickets and your concessions. And then also, how about this? All adults 21 and older will receive one voucher good for a 16-ounce domestic drought beer at the $19.94 price of $3.50. How's that sound?
That sounds great. If you're over 60, that means you get 3 of those.
Exactly. We're going to give you the discount on that. All right, visit TexasRangers.com/rollback and just go ahead and type in the promo code 1994 for the tickets. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jane, thank you. A lot of great things going on tomorrow night out here at the ballpark. 1 ball and 1 strike to Willingham. Good breaking ball from Colby that time. And it's 1-2. Willingham hit by a pitch and scored in the second. Last time up, leading off the fourth, he cracked a 408-foot home run into the Royals bullpen in left center field. His second home run as a Royal and his 14th of the season. Colby trying to get him for the second out here in the 6th. 2-2. Willingham now with that home run, 6 RBI for the Royals. Colby to the line, the 2-2 pitch. Hit hard but pulled foul to left. And we'll try it again. Willingham back in. Lewis studying the signs. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball. And there's the first strikeout of the night, registered by Colby Lewis. 2 gone for Mike Moustakas.
He came back after Willingham took him deep and made a good pitch on him. That's where Colby's trying to throw the ball. Earlier in the game, he was missing that spot, whether it's a fastball or whether it's his slider, that down and away to the right-hand hitter. That's where he's predominantly trying to throw the ball. A couple of got away from him early, but you know, he's a veteran guy. He keeps throwing it, and eventually it seems like it's straightening out for him a little bit now, getting the ball where he wants. And there's a good curveball down in the strike zone for a strike.
Colby now has retired the last 7 that he's faced. Mike Moustakas has a base hit in 2 trips. 0-1 pitch. Good changeup. Nothing in 2. Moustakas' single came back in the 2nd inning. He came around to score in that frame. Last time up, grounded sharply to second. That backdoor slider, and Moustakas would have none of it. 1-2 the count. Some good ballpark fare there. The Nacho's a standard fare out at Globe Life Park. It's good for whatever ails you. Now the 1-2. Colby nearing the 100 pitch mark. He has settled down remarkably well. ran the pitch count up early, but
what do you have in the second inning? Like 30,
he had
35?
He had 31.
31
in the second. He had 45 after 2 innings. There's the pitch breakdown. Out of play to the left, and we'll try it again at 2-2. Moustakas with the average at 203. It's been a pretty potent 200 average, though, with 14 home runs. That's second on the ball club. He's tied with Alex Gordon, right behind Salvador Perez. And a pop-up will reach the seats behind home plate. Colby rubbing a wrinkle in that new baseball. Getting ready for the 7th pitch in this at bat to Mike Moustakas. Three and 2. Moustakas trying to get aboard to extend the 6th inning. Lorenzo Cain, the Royals center fielder, waits to be next. Lewis to the wind, the payoff pitch. Hit hard, but pulled foul down the right side.
I mentioned earlier that when Billy Butler hit that long home run, he didn't look like a guy who only had 7 home runs coming into the game. Watching the swings that Moustakas has taken tonight, doesn't look like a guy hitting 202.
Yeah.
He had a hard base hit and hard ground ball at second. Battling up there, ripped that ball down the line. Moustakas was a high #1 draft choice. Big things are expected out of him.
Got him swinging. Colby, a well-located fastball, gets his 2nd straight strikeout. The only 2 punch-outs in the game. Well, the Royals gone in the 6th, 1-2-3 fashion after 5.5. 4-1 Kansas City. And it's time now for the Sonic Slam Inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $1,000 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In tonight. The Rangers are hitting for C.J. Newberry of Plano. If the Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, C.J. Newberry from Plano will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Well, C.J., you've got the right Rangers coming up. You've got Alex Rios, Adrian Beltre, and Mike Carp. Bottom of the 6th, Rangers trailing by 3. Alex Rios 1 for 2 tonight. 0-1 the count. Rios a ground rule double back in the 1st inning. Ventura on his 83rd pitch of the night, 82nd pitch, I should say. 91 pitches. There we go. The 1-1. Now 1-2. Rangers just 3 hits tonight. They've had a double from Rios, a double from Beltre, and a single from Andrews. Ventura's also walked a couple. And he has pretty much had things in hand for the first 5 innings. And he's got Rios on strikes. That is 3 consecutive strikeouts for Ventura, the last 2 in the 5th, and now Rios to lead off the 6th.
He's one of those rare starting pitchers. We've seen a couple of them this year who can tune the ball up after 90 pitches at 99 miles an hour. Again, we've seen some relief pitchers doing that, but not many starters have that kind of arm.
Beltre 1 for 2 with that double. He's also had an RBI on a ground out. 0-1 the count. Beltre at 322 as he faces Ventura. And he's got another base hit. Now, you could throw it 190 miles an hour. If you're going to throw it out there, Beltre's going to get a base hit the other way.
Yeah, he's one of those hitters. He's a 300 hitter. He's a veteran hitter, and he's going to have good at bats. It doesn't matter who's pitching. if he doesn't have good at bats or a bad game, it's not because he can't hit the pitching. It's just because he's not swinging the bat on a particular night the way he's capable of. It doesn't matter what you throw to him, he's going to hit it.
Well, Beltre with 2 hits. He has half the Ranger total. Here's Mike Carp. Takes the first pitch at the knees for strike 1. Carp has struck out and grounded to third. Ventura sets at the belt. Beltre a very short lead at first. The pitch is low. That makes it a ball and a strike. Rangers snapped a streak in the Wednesday game down in Miami for scoring. They scored 5 runs in that ball game. First time in 9 games that they have scored more than 4. One and 2. And I say that because it really hasn't mattered whether it's been at home or on the road. The Rangers have just had a devil of a time getting their offense in gear consistently. And that's not something you would normally say for a Ranger offense in this ballpark. And Carp gone on strikes. 6 strikeouts for Ventura. 2 gone for Robinson Chirinos.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the strikeouts is they're coming well into the ball game. He's thrown almost 100 pitches, and the last 4 outs have been strikeouts. At a time where maybe a young pitcher might be showing some signs of fatigue on a warm night, looks like he's just getting warmed up.
Yep. No, I think in his case, if he gets into a good rhythm throwing the ball, it looks like it's coming out of his hand more easily now than it was a couple of innings ago. And that typically is when the location improves and you throw the ball as well as you possibly can. You get more velocity with less effort. That was pitch number 100 for Giordano Ventura. Chirinos tonight 0 for 2, a fly ball to right, a ground ball to first. Good changeup. 1-1. Robinson Chirinos normally he doesn't step out of the batter's box. I think after swinging to that changeup, said, "Wait a minute, I got to regroup here."
Readjust my thought process here.
Now the 1-1 coming. Royals defend Robinson Chirinos straight away in the infield. The outfield, maybe a step around to the left. Chopper foul outside third. And the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. We've had no action in either bullpen tonight. Both starters have been cruising along pretty effectively. Colby Lewis touched early for 3 runs in the second. Other than that, he's been pretty solid. Ventura, other than the run of the first inning, has kept the Rangers down. Full count now, and with 2 outs, Adrian Beltre will be moving on the next pitch. That last pitch, top of the century mark in velocity.
Wow.
Beltre inching off. He's on the move. Payoff pitch is high, ball 4. Just like that now, a base hit, and 1 out later, a walk. And the Rangers have the tying run coming to home plate in the person of Leonys Martin.
Now Ventura, again, in his last start, walked 6. He threw 114 pitches. That's a season high for him. And he's at 105 pitches right now. Get a little action down in the Kansas City bullpen, just in case he can't throw enough strikes to get this last out. They have to get somebody ready.
And Cicely Bueno, the left-hander. And Aaron Crow, the hard-throwing right-hander. No, a little conference. Salvador Perez and Omar Infante to the mound, and Take a little time, let the bullpen get going. A 2-on, 2-out. Leonys Martin has walked and lined to third. Got Beltre at second, Chirinos at first, and the first pitch is very high for ball one. Let's see if Martin can have a patient at bat now with a appears to be a tiring Rodano Ventura. Changeup has popped up. Foul territory. And it's going to be Salvador Perez to make the call and the catch. And that will do it. No runs a hit, 2 men are left. We'll go to the 7th inning here in Arlington. It's the Royals 4 and the Rangers 1. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by Freedom Chevrolet. Nobody beats a Freedom deal, nobody. Now, Colby Lewis night has come to a close. 6 good innings of work for Colby Lewis. 6 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He gives way to the 24-year-old right-hander Phil Klein.
Yeah, Phil's been throwing the ball really well. He gave up a couple of early home runs. He got the jitters over with and settled down. His last 5 games has been throwing the ball great. Throwed 7 2/3 innings, struck out 10. See the 2 home runs he gave up real early, and opponents are only hitting 148 against him. Colby ends up going 6. He had a tough second inning, 31 pitches, 4 hits, and 3 runs. Other than that, all he gave up was an infield hit and a solo home run. Finished strong, struck out the last 2 hitters he faced.
He retired 8 straight and 9 of 10 for Colby, so he finished it off very well. Turns it over to Phil Klein. Klein from Youngstown State in Ohio. Big right-hander, 6'7", listed at 230 pounds, and he will deal to Lorenzo Cain to start things off for the Royals here in the 7th inning. Cain 2 for 2 tonight. Pair of singles, and an RBI base hit in the 2nd, and an infield single in the 4th. 297 the average for Cain. Klein back to the plate. Now 2-0. Royals over the years have had Lorenzo Cain kind of slotted for the middle of the order. Figured he would be a big run producer. That really hasn't suited him well yet. He is driving in some runs with 41 RBI, but never really got himself comfortable. And number 5 in the order was where they had him at slotted a couple of times. 2-1 pitch. Now 3-1.
It was an off-speed pitch that just slipped out of Phil's hand.
A little tough in that area to distinguish off speed or not.
Yeah, you just all you're saying is I know where it's coming. I don't care if it's going 84 or 94.
That's foul back and out of play. That fills the count. Okay, and the number 8 hitter leading off here in the 7th, trying to get aboard as Alcides Escobar, the shortstop, is in the on-deck circle. Royals 4 runs on 6 hit. The Rangers 1 run on 4 hits tonight. Kansas City committing the only error of the ball game. Phil Klein peering in for the sign. The big right-hander is ready. Right center field and hit well. Going back is Martin. Up against the padding. It's in and out of his glove. And Cain into second with a long double. Well, Leonys got back there in time, it looked like. But the ball and the glove and the wall came together all at the same time. And the ball came loose.
Yeah, very well hit ball by Cain to probably the deepest part of the park, the 407 sign. Martin got a pretty good jump, ran it down, and we'll see in the replay exactly what happened. Gets up against the wall, just didn't catch it.
Nope.
Looked like he was far enough back, sees where the wall is, looks at the ball. He didn't quite get his glove there in time.
Nope.
Okay, went just over his glove. You know, I think he's very concerned about the wall, and in slow motion you can see his arm really wasn't extended all the way.
Going to third is Cain. The throw is high and in with a stolen base, Lorenzo Cain. As we mentioned earlier in the ballgame, you have to keep an eye on all the Royals runners, but especially guys like Cain and Escobar, Aoki. They get on the bags, they love to run.
Okay, 19 out of 22 now, so in addition to being a good base stealer as far as how many he's stolen, his percentage is very good too.
But with nobody out, Escobar at the plate, the Rangers pull the infield all the way in, trying to cut this run off if possible. And Klein hits the outside corner to even the count at 1-1. Escobar with 43 RBI now. He had an RBI earlier in the game. Klein's next pitch skied to very shallow right field. Cain is going to bluff a tag as Chu gets the ball back in. A nice one-hop throw to just make sure that Cain didn't have any designs on trying to score.
Maybe with one out you give it a shot, but not with nobody out.
Shin-Soo Choo able to dispel any thought that might have been in the mind of Lorenzo Cain.
You know, one familiar face to me, Buzz, maybe, I'm not sure if you knew him or not. The Royals' third base coach is Mike Jerschele. Mike was a longtime minor league player in the Ranger organizations. Great young player. Excellent character. He's been a minor league manager in the Royals system for, I don't know, 20 years maybe.
Under the glove, off the glove of Mike Carp. In to score is Cain. And safely aboard is Nori Aoki. And it's a 5-1 Kansas City lead.
Well, that was one of those balls that it looked like Cain was going to try to score on it. But it was so hard hit that it looked like if Mike fielded the ball, he would have an excellent shot to get Cain. Let's take a look. He's playing in. Cain's running. And if he catches it and makes an accurate throw, Cain's an easy out. But the pressure is on the fielder. Takes a little hop on him. He can't come up with it. And the Royals pick up a run. Anyway, back to Mike Jerschele. He's a longtime minor league manager, very successful at all levels, particularly in Omaha, where he was a fixture. And they finally gave him a shot to coach in the big leagues, and couldn't be happier for Mike Jerschele.
And some guys never get that opportunity.
No, some guys are worthy and never get the chance. Glad the Royals gave it to Mike. He's a lifetime baseball guy. Just like Ron Washington.
Aoki at first scored on the ground ball that he had off of Carp's glove. An error allowed Aoki to reach first. He did get the RBI, however. So his 31st RBI of the year. A 5-1 Kansas City lead now, and Omar Infante at the plate. Little blooper into foul territory. Right there is Mike Carp. That is out number 2. So Infante 0 for 4. That'll bring up Salvador Perez now. When Phil Klein continuing to throw the ball well. The last 3 or 4 times out now, he has really shown the ability to get inside on both right-handers and left-handers. Sawed a lot of people off, and that's good to see. A guy that doesn't have eye-popping velocity, and Phil Klein at 92, 93. And this is popped up. Coming back right at the screen. And Robinson Chirinos runs out of room. 0-1 to Perez. Trying to think back on Perez's 3 at-bats so far if he's taken a pitch. I don't think he has. He swung at everything he saw. Perez a .266 average. Got Aoki at first with 2 outs. Oh, he took one there. 1-1. Bill Klein reading the signs as Chirinos flashes them out. Right-handers ready. Aoki a pretty good lead, but he's staying put. 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Bill Klein, one of the guys that the Rangers have had the opportunity to get a look at going down the stretch here. Hard hit ball, backhanded nicely by Andrews. On to second for the force. That'll do it for the Royals. They do score a run in the 7th. A hit, an error, and 1 left. And after 6.5, 5-1 Kansas City. Now let's join Chuck Morgan as he introduces God Bless America.
We're serving our country at home and around the world. We invite everyone in Globe Life Park to join in singing God Bless America.
Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda now at your Honda dealer. And by Frost. Visit frostbank.com. The Royals leading 5-1 now as the Rangers come to bat here in the bottom of the 7th. New pitcher on the hill. It is the left-hander Francisco Bueno.
The numbers for Bueno. 23rd ball game. Pretty solid numbers. We saw him a couple of times in spring training.
Bueno, a native of Cuba. He was 5'11", about 205. Lorenzo Cain moving from center field to right field. And Adam Rosales puts a charge into one to left center field. Way back, goodbye. No, it's off the wall. Off the very top of the wall, right where the yellow on the Southwest.com sign stops. It way up on top that, and Adam Rosales with a leadoff double off of Bueno.
Now, you talk about guys getting an opportunity. Adam is one of those guys. He's gotten an opportunity, and I don't know that he would have gotten a chance to go for 23 or not. Who knows? That's up to Wash, but he's hitting .333 coming into the ball game, putting a charge in some balls. He had the 2 home runs off Chris Sale, and he almost hit that one out of the ballpark. If it hits to the right of the yellow, it probably goes over the 390 sign. Oh, he's not only getting his hits, he's putting a charge in them.
The leadoff man aboard, and we're going to have a pinch hitter now for Jim Adduci. It's Daniel Robertson, and he shoots the ball into right center. That is up the alley. In to score is Rosales, going for the double, and in with the RBI two-bagger is Daniel Robertson. It's a 5-2. Royals leading.
Well, you talk about coming up cold off the bench after a couple hours and not wasting any time. He saw the first pitch and ripped it into right center field. So the bottom of the order, Adam Rosales puts a charge in one, and Daniel doing the same thing to right center field, hustling all the way, put the pressure on the right fielder to make a throw, and he couldn't do it.
Well, our TXU Energy replay of the game, and you just saw it. Here we see it again. How about Daniel Robertson? The first pitch that he sees, Francisco Bueno shoots it into right center. That is a double and an RBI for Daniel Robertson. TXU Energy, inspired by you. And before Francisco Bueno could even get his feet on the ground, Adam Rosales and Daniel Robertson said, Kelvin Herrera, the right-hander, loosening in the Royals bullpen, and Shin-Soo Choo fouls the first pitch off. Choo, the last of the left-handers, due up for a while. After Choo, you have Andres Rios and Beltre, and therefore Herrera up and loose, probably to come in to face them. Choo 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of strikeouts and a ground out. Pulls one on the ground to first. Butler will take it to the bag. That gets the job, though, done as Daniel Robertson advances to third. He's there with one out. And Elvis Andrus will come up, and he's waiting to see if Ned Yost is going to go to the bullpen. The answer for the time being would be no. And now he comes out. Well, that's going to do it for Francisco Bueno as you get a chance to catch up on the defensive changes. Gerard Dyson in the ball game, taking over in center, and that made the move by Kane over to right field. So that'll do it for Bueno. He has gone after facing 3 hitters and giving up 2 hits. He will leave with a runner on base, his responsibility. Time here in the 7th inning with the Rangers now trailing 5-2 but threatening. Herrera coming on. We'll tell you about him when we come back right after this on TXA 21. Fans, make your plans to come on out now for the Friday, September 5th game against the Mariners. You get a post-game fireworks show thrown in with some great baseball action. This is the second to last fireworks show to be put on this year. It'll be set to music from the Star Wars movie set. $15 tickets in the upper reserve seating sections are available at TexasRangers.com/special by using the coupon code fireworks. Well, 1 on, 1 in, and 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Elvis Andrus coming to the plate to face Kelvin Herrera.
Yeah, Kelvin Herrera having an excellent season in relief. The Royals have an excellent bullpen late in the game. You're going to see some heat, and you're going to see some guys that can shut you down. 1.53 ERA. Notice he's pitched 53 innings, has not given up a home run. He can get it up there in the mid-90s, throws a heavy baseball.
And the first pitch to Elvis a little bit low at 96 for ball 1. Andrus tonight, a single and a run scored. He's also walked and struck out. The average of 272 as Daniel Robertson at third base with just 1 out, and the Royals playing their infield back as they still lead by 3 at 5-2.
Rangers had a leadoff double in the 4th and couldn't get him home. And even though Daniel Robertson was not a leadoff double, he was still a double with nobody out. And so you'd love to be able to bring him home right here.
Well, Elvis with 32 runs driven in, trying to increase that by at least 1 here. Herrera to the plate, hitting.
That got him in the elbow.
That fastball up and in, and nowhere for Elvis to go. That ball kept following him in. Got him on that left arm, and you see him flexing that left hand, and said it got me right there on the forearm.
pad on Elvis's arm either. I don't remember him getting hit there before.
Matt Lucero, the assistant trainer, out there checking on Elvis, make sure he's all right. He said, no, I'm not all right. It hurts.
Only the third time Elvis has been hit by a pitch this year. Looks like he's okay.
Yep.
Good news.
Not much time to get out of the way of that pitch.
That thing was just boring right in on the elbow.
So runners at the corners now with one out. Rangers have the tying run coming to home plate. Alex Rios 1 for 3. Alex, a first inning double. Simpson is lined to right and struck out. And Herrera hits the outside corner. And I don't think it's totally lost on the on-deck hitter after seeing the guy before you get plunked by that 96-mile-an-hour fastball, that the pitcher's command might not be sharp.
Yeah, it's probably going through the back of your mind.
Out of play to the right.
Putting that one up there at 98 miles an hour.
Action in the Ranger bullpen. Neil Kotz and Alex Claudio, both left-handers that the Rangers have down there. One if the game gets tied or close, and the other if it doesn't. 0-2 to Rios. Now 1-2. Elvis Stephanie's lead off from first. Daniel Robertson just keeping an eye on the proceedings over there at third. That will slice back into the crowd down the right side. We'll try it again. And a ball and 2 strikes. A 5-2 ball game. Rangers trying to make it interesting here in the 7th. Into the hole, a ground ball to second for the force. That's all they're going to get. Robertson down the line to score, and Alex Rios safely aboard on the fielder's choice groundout. He has the RBI. The lead has been cut to 5-3 Kansas City.
They did a good job to get one. Now this is a situation where if Alex is feeling well, you might consider stealing a base.
Beltre tonight 2 for 3, single and double. Takes strike 1. Adrian still leading the American League in home batting average, coming into tonight a .358 mark at home. And it's gone up a few points with the 2 base hits. Now has a hit streak of 15 consecutive against Kansas City. Rios at first, a pretty good lead now. 1-1. .324 the average for Adrian Beltre. Trying to increase that RBI total, and increasing the home run total right here wouldn't hurt a bit. 1-1 pitch. Boy, he had one to go the other way with, and just a shade behind it. 1-2. 26,991 on hand here tonight. Seeing the opener of this 3-game weekend series. 1-2. Hit well to center. Dyson to his right, able to run it down, and that will do it. Rangers score a couple on 2 hits. They strand 1. We're going to the 8th inning. It's now the Royals 5 and the Rangers 3 on TXA 21.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rangers Baseball, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rangers Baseball, LLC.
Our TXA 21 Honda dealer of the game is John Eagle Honda of Dallas. Set to go here in the top of the 8th inning. Billy Butler will lead things off against Phil Klein. Butler, Alex Gordon, and Josh Willingham, the first 3 do-ups. Phil Klein gave up a run after a leadoff double by Lorenzo Cain in the 7th inning. The dealing to Butler, who is 1 for 3 with a home run tonight. One hopper, hard hit, but right there, Elvis, plenty of time to get the heavy-footed Butler. 1 gone. And Ron Washington now that the right-hander Klein has gotten the right-handed hitter Butler on his way to the mound. He's got Alex Claudio out there in the bullpen, and Claudio thinks that the call is going to be made. And he's exactly right. Well, the young guy has picked that up pretty quickly, thinking along with the skipper. He was ready to come in. He will make his way in from the bullpen. We will take another timeout for this pitching change. We're back after this on TXA 21. The Royals leading 5-3. 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning, and Ron Washington put the call out to the bullpen. Wants the young left-hander Alex Claudio to come on to face the left-handed hitting Alex Gordon.
Yeah, Alex has been fun to watch. He's pitched 3 times, hasn't given up a run. Opponents only 125 against him. He has a sneaky fastball at about 84 or 5 miles an hour, and a really good changeup that seems to float in there and just baffle the hitters so far.
Now, Claudio set to work. Alex Gordon steps in 0 for 3 tonight. Gordon has grounded out twice and fly to center field. Started him off with a breaking ball. Didn't quite get the inside corner. It's 1-0. Gordon, a .282 hitter. He has become pretty much a fixture in the middle of this Royals order. Chops that foul. Until this year, Gordon spent a lot of time in the leadoff spot. Royals had him up there primarily because of his on-base percentage, but when they got Nori Aoki, figured, well, we can use Alex Gordon down lower in the order where he can be more productive. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 2-1. There's the changeup. That thing floats over, and Alex Gordon's got to be saying, I could have read the morning newspaper before that thing came in here.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many guys that tee off on that the first time they see it.
Now the 2-2. Off the end of the bat, Beltre has it squirt back to his left, and it's off his glove into left field.
He hit that ball right off the end of the bat, and it spun to where Alex got to it, and it spun right away from him to the shortstop side.
Adrian taking a look at that ball because there's probably a chunk pulled out of it.
See where it is now and watch it spin and go to the right. It's still going to the right, still going to the right. He anticipated it was going to be 3 or 4 feet the other way, and by the time he got there, that ball must have spun and gone to the right 10 feet.
Well, that's going to be scored an error. That's a tough error, but you know, you can understand why it would be.
Yeah, and Adrian, I think, would agree with that.
Yeah.
Some errors are tougher errors than others, and that's one of those that looked like a simple play, but it wasn't quite so simple with the spin it had on it. If it was simple, he would have made it.
Well, it's the second Ranger error of the night. And for the year now, they have committed 88 errors. That's second most in the American League. Here's Josh Willingham, who takes that changeup that floats in. 0-1 the count. Willingham 1 for 2 officially tonight. Had that solo home run leading off the 4th inning. Hit by a pitch in the 2nd, came around to score. Last time up, went down swinging. There was that changeup.
Yeah, he fouled it off.
That was the good changeup. 0-2. Willingham widening his eyes out, said, did I see what I just thought I saw?
He saw it better than a lot of guys who see it on the first pitch. At least he fouled it off.
Yeah.
Most guys swing and miss at it way before it gets there.
Claudio, a little toss to first to drive Gordon back. Royals tonight 5 runs on 7 hits. Rangers 3 runs on 6 hits. Rangers, as I mentioned, 2 errors. The Royals with 1 tonight. Claudio, a check of first.
Didn't foul that one off.
No, he didn't. That had a little tailing action to it, and Willingham kind of looking back as if to say, yeah, okay, whatever. 2 gone. Good look at that circle changeup grip and a little turnover. Gives it that screwball action.
Yeah, really saw it there.
Makes my elbow hurt. You watch that too much. Now here's Mike Moustakas. Breaking ball is wide. 1 ball, no strikes. Moustakas 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 2nd. Has grounded out and struck out tonight. Rangers in a semi overshift, not a complete overshift. Elvis Andrus still on the shortstop side of second, but favoring the middle of the diamond. Pitch outside, 2-0. Here's a good look at the Ranger alignment. Adam Rosales more toward first than second, and right on the edge of the outfield grass. 2 balls, no strikes. Moustakas back in there. Claudio looking at the signs from Robinson Chirinos. Did he go? Yes, he did. Appeal down to Mike DeMuro at third. And that right fist came up. 2-1 the count. Good fastball. 2-2. Alex Claudio had a pretty good combination of pitchers. John Edwards, a local product out of Keller. Right-hander up and loosening in the Ranger bullpen. The 2-2 pitch. Good to get him to offer that high changeup.
It looked like he saw it pretty good, though.
So full count and 2 outs, and Alex Gordon will be off and moving on the next Claudio offering. Mike Carp letting Claudio know he's going to play a step or so behind him. If Moustakas is able to keep this inning alive, Lorenzo Cain waits in the on-deck circle. Payoff pitch, hammered down the right field line. It's hooking into the corner. It is down for a base hit. Being held at third is Gordon. Throw coming in, and boy, a ringing double off the bat of Mike Moustakas. And the only reason that they didn't try to score Gordon is it was hit too hard. And well played out there by Shin-Soo Choo on the carom.
The pitch before it was a changeup up, and he checked his swing, and it looked like he was right on it. And he threw another one, and he was right on it. This one's a strike, and he waits on it and drills it to right field. And he saw the first one and got another one, and that one was a strike, and he hit it. Good job by Choo getting rid of it quickly.
So second and third with 2 outs. Lorenzo Cain at the plate, and Mike Maddox is going to go out and have a little talk with his battery. Now Cain, the number 8 hitter, both Cain and the number 9 hitter Alcides Escobar, right-handers, and they're aggressive hitters. Also pretty productive down at the bottom of the order, both of them over 40 RBI this year. Discussion of, you can imagine how they wanted to go about their business with Cain. Cain tonight, a perfect evening. He is 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double. Let's see if Robinson Chirinos gets down behind home plate. He does. He's down on the crouch, and at least for the first pitch or two, they will try and get Cain out. Second and third with 2 outs. Backdoor breaking ball and just stayed outside. 1-0. Cain's RBI came on a single in the second. One-0 pitch. Shallow center field. Jonas Martin making the call, coming in to make the catch, and that'll do it. So no damage done. A hit and an error, 2 left. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's the Royals 5, the Rangers 3 on TXA 21. Folks, if you'd like to save up to 45% on family outings to Globe Life Park this season, just try the Coca-Cola Family Packs. It includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Coke soft drinks, 2 kids-owned wristbands, and 1 souvenir program. Available for $68 in the upper reserve seating or $112 in lower reserve seating. Get yours at TexasRangers.com/specials, or you can call 972-RANGERS if you prefer.
Wade Davis will come on to pitch, and when you look at his numbers, you might be seeing some of the best numbers for a relief pitcher. 85 strikeouts in 55 innings, no home runs in 55 innings, and a 146 opponent's batting average. We saw him with Tampa Bay after they put him in the bullpen, and he was virtually untouchable. He's had a couple of shots since then to go into the rotation. It hasn't worked out. He's settled into a setup role, and he might be the best in the league at this.
And dealing to Mike Carp, counts even at 1-1. Yeah, those numbers would certainly say he's right there at the top, if not the best. Yeah, and he and the rest of the guys we've seen tonight, all with very good fastballs. I mean, above good. They are very good. Davis, of course, having the starting experience, so he has the other pitches to go along with it, but he doesn't throw nearly as many breaking balls or straight changes as he used to as a starter. He gets one there and gets a slow roller out to second. And Carp is retired, 1 gone. But Davis, I think if you take most good starters, Wade Davis was a pretty good starter at Tampa Bay. Maybe not as consistent as he would have liked, but take guys with his kind of stuff that have starting experience and have the ability to throw all their pitches. You put them in a short relief spot, and you're going to see a little extra on the fastball.
That's
I think
exactly
that's what
right.
Davis has come up with.
I think that's the big difference. As a starter, he settled in at 90, 91, and
Yeah.
as a reliever, he's 95 or sometimes higher.
You get a guy with the starting mentality who just says, hey, all I need to do is get 3 outs.
Yeah.
Here it is. And all of a sudden you get 96 like on that last pitch.
giving up 28 hits in 56 innings.
0-1 to Robinson Chirinos. Checked his swing, and
92-mile-an-hour cut fastball, looked like a slider.
Chirinos tonight has walked. Other than that, is flied out and grounded out. Late swing and a miss at 97. You see the expression on the hitters' faces after swinging through some of these pitches from everybody tonight for the Royals. Ranger hitters are, I'm not going to say astonished because they're big league hitters. They're not going to be astonished, but it's not a look of, well, I was right on that and just missed it.
No, what you have to be saying is when you go in a game against these guys, let's have a lead after 6 innings.
Right.
Because if we're behind, we're going to have to scratch for anything we can get.
Yeah. Two and two, the count to Chirinos.
The idea is if you're behind, then you see these guys trying to save the game. If you're ahead, you might not see these guys. You might see some other guys. And the other guys in the bullpen, it's not like they're soft touches. Aaron Crow's having a good year. Jason Frazier, former Rangers, doing a solid job for him. So not like they've got bad guys in the bullpen when they're not ahead. But they're not like these guys.
Chirinos back in. Perez flashing the signs out, and Davis picks one out. Big breaking ball, and a swing and a miss. The strikeout will be completed at first. That's a nasty hook.
Got a 92-mile-an-hour cut fastball and 86-mile-an-hour curveball. Watch this thing break. Straight down in the dirt. And you say, well, why did he swing at it? Well, he's throwing 97 miles an hour, and when it comes out of his hand, you're not exactly sure what's going to happen to it. You just know you got to be tuned up to hit a 97-mile-an-hour pitch.
Yep.
Have to start a little sooner, and you see that, and it's too late to stop your swing.
And Leonis Martin on that cut fastball, no success there. It is 0-1.
The reason that you say, why didn't he lay off it? Well, why didn't anyone else lay off it? He struck out 85 guys in 50 innings.
At the knees, outside corner, 0-2.
Well, there's a lot of guys that aren't laying off that pitch.
Yeah. Davis working quickly. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Leonis Martin is able to get a board here in the 8th with 2 outs. Adam Rosales has been pulled back to the bench, and you got the left-handed hitting Rougned Odor getting loose. Now the 1-2. The pitch tracker tonight showing you pretty well spread out. 3-2. Well, Leonis indeed trying to get aboard with 2 outs. Rangers trailing by a pair. It's 5-3 Kansas City. Davis sets the payoff pitch. We'll do it again. Now the right-hander ready to go one more time. Another 3-2. And a chopper to first. Billy Butler will take it to the bag and wins that race. Rangers are gone in order as Wade Davis sends them down in 1-2-3 fashion. We're going to the 9th inning here in Arlington. It's the Royals 5, the Rangers 3. A reminder, a very special night tomorrow night. Rangers Hall of Fame induction for Ambassador Tom Schieffer. The on-field induction will begin tomorrow at 6:35 on Fox Sports Southwest. That's prior to the game between the Rangers and the Royals. That game time has been pushed back a few minutes. It'll many Rangers alumni signing autographs from 5 to 5:30 out here at Globe Life Park. Tom Schieffer going in to become the 17th member of the Rangers Hall of Fame. Royals come to bat here in the 9th inning. And John Edwards facing Alcides Escobar. So Edwards in to start the 9th for the Rangers. Escobar is 1 for 3 this evening. Down to the count now, 0-2.
And John, in his brief time with the Rangers, has pitched a couple of times, an inning and 2/3. Has a couple of stats, a walk and a strikeout.
John, a Keller High School graduate in the Metroplex. Signed with the Rangers 2012. He originally was in the Cardinal system as an outfielder. That didn't go the way he wanted it, so he turned to pitching, and it's worked out pretty well. This one popped up on the infield left side. Beltre and Andrus right behind Adrian Beltre is Elvis Andrus to make the catch. 1 gone. Elvis saying, okay, this is my area here, and that over there's your area. Stay out of my area.
You know, that doesn't look like much, but if you're the fielder that's trying to catch it, knowing that he's there doing that, it offers a slight distraction anyway. It's a simple play, so it doesn't really come into play that often, but I don't think it gives the fielder the best possible chance to catch the ball. Let's put it that way. Doesn't make much difference in the big leagues. And they have fun doing it, so
yeah.
I guess no harm, no foul.
I kind of like when Elvis tries to run him off and Beltre will smack him.
Yeah, push him out of the way
yeah.
while he's catching the ball.
Jarrod Dyson for his first at bat of the night, a .287 average. Dyson, another one of the speed merchants that the Kansas City Ball Club has. Dyson, a home run, 19 driven in. Edwards missing low. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Well, Dyson definitely not the guy you want to have aboard. He's the team leader with 27 stolen bases in 31 attempts. And ball 4 puts him aboard.
Well, it'll be a shock if he's not going here. Dyson is 27 out of 31 stealing bases. And when you come into a game late, you're going to try and do everything you can in the short period of time you've got to excel in a ball game. And this is his game right here, getting on base and trying to make something happen. You got a big lead already.
Omar Infante, the number 2 hitter, waiting up there, and Dyson diving back to first. A snap throw down to first by Robinson Chirinos, and very quickly Mike Maddox again out to the mound.
Well, John has a pretty quick step to the plate, which might make it a little bit more difficult for Dyson. Give Robinson a better chance. Robinson's been throwing great this year. Give him a chance, he should throw him out.
Yeah, John Edwards, a big, tall guy. He was 6'5" and about 230 pounds, but he does have a pretty quick move to the plate, which is unusual for a tall guy.
Yeah.
You know, the conference concluded very quickly. John Edwards, after giving up the idea of being a position player, split some time in independent league ball with both San Angelo and Pecos. There goes Dyson, and
oh man,
not much Chirinos can do.
He was flying.
Stolen base number 28 for Jarrod Dyson.
Yeah, and a running start there.
No, man in scoring position now with one away. Count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Infante, who is 0 for 3 tonight.
Dyson was a 50th round draft choice back in 2006. Played a lot of years in the minor leagues. And as you can pretty well guess, his strength was stealing bases.
Edwards just outside.
That's one of those balls, if he threw over to first, he might have had a chance because he started that move a little bit too soon.
Edwards set. 2-1 pitch. Now 3 balls and a strike. Well, as you can imagine, John Edwards is probably a little bit distracted by Dyson. Speed out there. That's what speed on the base paths will do. It distract the pitcher and mess up a lot of things. Chopper, Elvis on the run, low throw, and Garp can't dig it out. The ball gets away, so Dyson on to third. And the Royals now have runners at first and third with 1 out, and Salvador Perez coming up. That's going to be an infield single for Omar Infante, and an error on the throw from Elvis to allow Dyson to advance from second to third.
That's one of those tough calls for Elvis. You know that Dyson is on second base, and if you throw it to first base, I'm surprised Dyson didn't go as soon as Elvis threw the ball. Dyson waited to see what happened, and because Carp couldn't pick the ball out of the dirt and the ball was in the dirt, Elvis got an error that allowed him to go to third.
Well, still just 1 out. Salvador Perez takes strike 1. You got Dyson at third, Infante at first. Royals leading by 2, threatening to add in the 9th inning. That's out of play to the right, and Perez now down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Oh for 4 for Salvador Perez tonight. Edwards, a belt high set. And a throw down to third. And Robinson Chirinos, his arm must be feeling good tonight. He's airing it out every chance he gets.
Yep, he wants to stay loose all game long.
Edwards ready, a check of the runners. Could be a double play ball to Rosales. Andrews back to first, not in time. Oh, Perez hustling down that line, able to beat the back end of that double play. In to score is Dyson. And Rod Washington now out to have a little chat with Hunter Wendelstedt.
It wasn't a hard hit ball, and so it was going to be a little bit tough to turn. But Perez, for a catcher, got down the line pretty well, and he beat it out.
Well, Ron just hadn't had a chance to talk to Hunter Wendelstedt about anything, so he thought he'd go out there and maybe have a little discussion. Say nice call. Well, that a fairly easy determination for the Rangers video review folks, Joey Purvinsky and Tim Bogart. That makes it another run on the ledger for Kansas City. It's 6-3 now. And Billy Butler takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Salvador Perez with the 55th RBI of the season. Butler 1 for 4. That solo home run leading off the second inning. Royals now 6 runs on 9 hits tonight. 2-1. John Edwards, in his 3 years with the Rangers organization as a pitcher, he's averaged almost or just over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings.
That'll get you struck out right there.
Sure will.
Hard slider, I guess it was. 87 miles an hour.
Yep. And pretty good downward break to it, too. That's the kind of slider you like to see. Now the 2-2. That'll run the count full. And with 2 outs now, Perez at first will be off and moving with the next Edwards offering. Billy Butler batting cleanup, trying to extend this inning. Alex Gordon waits in the on-deck circle. Edwards ready. Perez on the move. Payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Went up the ladder. Billy Butler didn't have a step ladder tall enough to reach that. Side retire, but the Royals add a run. A hit, a walk, and an error. On to the bottom of the ninth. 6-3 Kansas City. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by your Texas Ford dealer. Visit your Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. By Globe Life, the official life insurance company of the Texas Rangers. And by TXU Energy, inspired by you. The Royals add an insurance run, go to the bottom of the ninth now. Rangers coming to bat, and they will face the closer, the Major League leader. Closer, Greg Holland.
Holland, we can talk about another hard thrower with a nasty off-speed pitch. 52 games, 39 out of 41 saves. Great ERA, great opponent's batting average. 70 strikeouts in 49 innings. Add him to the list of excellent late inning guys that the Royals can run at you. He throws a mid-90s fastball, a splitter, and a slider. Sometimes you can't tell the difference between a splitter and a slider. Maybe that's the problem the hitter has.
Rougned Odor leading things off for the Rangers as a pinch hitter. Odor pinch hitting for Adam Rosales. And Rougned had a .255 average, 5 home runs, and 27 driven in. Holland's 1-0 pitch. Popped up. Out in front of home plate, Salvador Perez. 1 out. And now Daniel Robertson will face Holland. Holland's a 28-year-old right-hander. Originally the 10th round selection by the Royals back in the 07 draft. Really came into his own last year. 47 saves for Kansas City. In an ERA of 1.21. Robertson 1 for 1. He had a pinch hit RBI double in the 7th inning. Came around to score. One 1-0 pitch. 1-1.
Almost looks like he falls back toward first base as he's throwing the ball, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, would you say that's not the way you would want a pitcher to go? He doesn't go straight toward the plate?
Yeah, he opens up quite a bit, which is unusual. Most of the time, you say guys throw across their body, and this is just the opposite. Throwing across their body would be stepping more toward third for a right-hander and trying to fire it back to the plate.
But if you're the pitching coach, I don't think you're going to say change anything, big guy, are you?
A little late now.
39 out of 41 saving games.
1-2, the count to Robertson. Boy, Holland, great reaction. A little flip out of the glove. Hello.
Well, when the ball is hit to the second base side, He's in perfect position to field it. You hit that same ball to the shortstop side, he's not within 10 feet of it.
Well, the Rangers now down to their last out, and Shin-Soo Choo coming up. 0 for 4 this evening. Choo, a .242 average. Tonight he has struck out twice and grounded out twice. Holland to the plate. Ball 1. This series will continue tomorrow night. Remember, the Rangers Hall of Fame induction, Ambassador Tom Schieffer being inducted prior to the ball game. Starts at 6:30. Jeremy Guthrie and Nick Tepesch, the principals starting that ball game, will be delayed about 10 minutes or so on normal start.
The Royals have had 4 pitchers in this game throw a ball at least 98 miles an hour.
The 2-0. 3-0. Choo trying to get aboard. Rangers need a couple of base runners to bring the tying run to the plate. Elvis Andrus waits on the Ranger on deck circle. Holland, that high set, and a strike is thrown. 3-1.
Borderline. Doesn't look like a strike, and according to our pitch tracks, it wasn't a strike. Another strike against Choo.
That one is too high. Ball 4. Choo draws. The walk keeps the 9th inning going. And Elvis will be next.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrus.
Elvis is 1 for 2 officiating. He's been on 3 times. Singled in the first, walked in the third, and was hit by a pitch in the 7th. Every time the Royals got him out, he struck out, finishing the 5th. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Now Perez going to go out and say something to Greg Holland. That didn't take long. Something like, throw me a strike, will you? That was just the 17th walk that Holland has given up this year with 70 strikeouts. There is a strike, 1-1 to Elvis. Elvis with the average at .272. That splitter. 2-1 now. Holland back to the plate. Looped into shallow right field. Going out is Infante. Makes the catch. And that will do it. So Holland comes on to get his 40th save of the year. Makes a winner out of Giordano Ventura, who moves to 10-9. Colby Lewis takes the loss, and he drops to 8-3. So the Royals win the opening game of this 3-game set. We'll come back to Globe Life Park to wrap things up right after this on TXA 21. Well, the Royals get the win in the first game of this 3-game series. The score tonight, 6-3, Kansas City on top. The Royals 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Rangers 3 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors. Giordano Ventura takes the win. He is 10-9. Colby Lewis the loss. He is 8-11. Greg Holland with his 40th save. It took 3 hours and 9 minutes in front of a crowd of 26,991. So now for Tom Grieve and Jane Slater and our entire crew, this is Steve Busby saying so long from Globe Life Park. Join us tomorrow at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest as this series with the Royals continues. Coming up next, the TXA 21 postgame show with Guy Rawlings and Mark McLemore. Tonight's game was produced by Kurt Dykert, directed by Dave Burchell. Associate producers Kelly Donaldson and Carla Janeway. Thanks for watching your Texas Rangers on TXA 21.